Hello there, and welcome to another video. This time I'm going over what can you use, how are you going to use squad recs for your journey events and use them for your game. And seeing as how I have Ewoks right here, we're just going to start with Ewoks really quickly. We're going to roll 2 battles with them and we're just going to move on. Ewoks are quite a good offensive squad, but their defense is what they severely lack. It is a complete death wish if you want to use them on defense. However, it is quite interesting. So, for the next requirement is Phoenix. That gets you Thrawn and Palpatine, which leads you into R2 and CLS. So, the use of these guys is actually, you can split them up into many different things, but their big key thing that is important about these guys is that they are an important part to any rebel fleet. You will need these guys if you want to stay competitive in Grand Arena, because yeah, you might have Executor, Malevolent, and Negotiator, but if you don't have any of those three, you need to chase after at least one of the non-standard meta fleets, whether that is First Order, Rebel, or Empire. You need to chase after one of the three. And these guys have not only one ship, but have 2 ships that are able to help you do that. So you gear them up for your ships, which in turn gets you Thrawn's capital ship, which is something that I didn't really talk about. Anyways, moving on to the next one is Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan, and Malik. Now, you're normally going to plug in, you're going to leave Juhani in the dust, or gear her up and use her as a plug-and-play Jedi, and then you're going to leave T3M4 in the dust and use him for like a droid sacrifice if you need to. But normally, Bastila and Jolie get paired with Jedi Knight Revan. Badstilla and HK get paired with Darth Revan as well as Malik. And then you have this team right here that's left over that you can put on offense or defense. However, be careful on sending them on defense. They are a tricky defensive team, I will say that, so don't get me confused. But the one thing that you have to worry about is if they have a good, not SLKR, good normal Kylo Ren with the mask on, he's just gonna tear you apart. That's gonna happen to this team. He can just solo this team because of how much outrage and how much counters he can do. I've done it myself plenty of times. So then we get to move on to our next squad team here in this wonderful folder, which is Beskar Armando, which the use for these guys is you have 2 bounty hunter lineups. These are 2 of them. You normally either put Cara Dune with Rebel fighters, or you put Cara Dune with Beskar Armando, and then normally you put 2 Scoundrel plus Queel and IG-11 with Beskar Armando. That's usually what I do. That's normally the general consensus of what happens with this team. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm a little hot and toasty. Well, this team, Resistance, when you get Jedi Training Ray, normally you drop Ray Scavenger, and then you can just plug these guys in, or you can make a second Resistance lineup using Finn, and everyone else, and then just put your R2 that you have with CLS, put it with Ray Jedi Training and BB-8, and boom, happy family. And normally that's what a lot of people do, is that they take their R2 and they put it in. Anyways, for CLS's requirements, how you want to use them after you get CLS is either put them with CLS, or you can use them in other various mishmash areas like You don't have to put R2 with CLS. You can put R2 with JTR and be completely fine, or you can put her with Padme and that's completely fine. So there's multiple options you can go about putting some of these characters. You can put Han with Scoundrels. You'll probably want to keep Leia around with Rebels. Old Ben can go help out Jedi, and Foreign Boy Luke isn't that good, so he gets left in the dust. And that's generally a consensus that people put together as well. First Order and Geonosians, I'm going to keep this simple. First Order is for BB-8, really easy event, needed for JTR, and Geonosians, not needed for Padme, because a lot of people like to go a different route and, get just a really high-level Jango. But I don't like that. I think it's better to build a squad of 5 with Geonosians that serve multiple purposes rather than just one. And in that case, it just makes more sense to go after the 5 Geos and get Padme when you can, versus just doing it whenever. Oh, my bounty hunters didn't even get their payout. That was fun to watch. Anyways, so you just unlock those guys and it makes it simple. And besides, if you're already going to plan on going for bounty hunters, I recommend getting Jango anyways. Besides, Jango is not only that, he's also a Galactic Galactic Legends requirement. So it's just kind of, handy dandy to record him or to get him as just a general rec. So then you have to get bounty hunters for ye old, or not C-3PO. God, Chewbacca. I'm not on my game right now, if you can't tell. But yes, you need these guys for Chewbacca. So guess what? A lot of people go out and get bounty hunters for Chewbacca. Now, it's not necessarily going to be these 5 bounty hunters. You can mix and match, but bounty hunter is usually a good squad to have 10 of, because you're able to have an offensive team and a defensive team. And I'll quickly explain why these 2 are here. Seeing as how you now start off with Anakin and Ahsoka, you can just plug in Old Ben, Kanan, and Ezra, and boom, you can go out and get yourself a Grandmaster Yoda with those 5. I said that EOX at the beginning, they were needed for C-3PO, and then seeing as how with your Empire team is coming together from 2 legendaries, and from Fleet, you're going to get a TIE Fighter pilot and Tarkin, so they're both really useful and really easy to farm. And you're going to naturally unlock Vader, so it just makes sense to have those guys all in one squad for themselves. It works. I like it. This is a really efficient way to use for all these squads. Tarkin, you can always put in mismatch groups as well. But that is all for this video. Until the next one. See ya.